Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we are going to be going over what we can expect as we get into the next couple weeks of December, which we are going to be tracking the potential for a lot of things. We are going to be watching that potential for some snowstorms, which could, enhance a lot of lake effect snowfall. We also are going to be tracking that potential for some heavy rainfall, maybe even a little bit of severe weather across the deep south, maybe even as far north as the Tennessee River valleys too as well. And then we'll also be tracking the potential for even some ice storms, which could bring some freezing rain and even some sleet. So definitely make sure to stay tuned till the end so that way you guys know what to expect for your area. And that also includes subscribing down below, as we will continue to keep you guys updated with the latest on Weather with Sim. Don't forget to leave a like as well. This help out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. You guys can leave anything down below as long as it's respectful, and I'll get to those right after today's weather forecast. But let's first go ahead and take a look at what we can expect for today. And the main thing today will be this small clipper right here that we're going to be tracking. And this is pretty much going to move into the lower Ohio Valley and Tennessee River valleys today, bringing some potential to places like Harrisburg, Illinois, Paducah, Kentucky, even up there towards Evansville, Indiana, even back over there towards parts there of Hopkinsville, maybe even into Madisonville. So we will be watching those areas across the lower Ohio Valley very closely for today. And as this continues, this will then shift to the southeast, continuing to bring chances for snow flurries across parts there of Tennessee, especially areas south of Nashville. But we'll also be keeping an eye on some flurries closely for places like, the Carolina mountains. You guys are in the higher elevation, so don't be surprised to see a little bit higher totals. But even you guys, in the higher elevations in both Kentucky and as well as Virginia, you guys are gonna, be seeing that potential for some flurries as well. So definitely make sure you are paying attention if you live anywhere in the lower Ohio Valley, or if you live anywhere in the Tennessee River valleys, as once again we are going to have that potential for some snow showers and of course some flurries for today. So definitely make sure you're paying attention if you do live anywhere across these areas. And then if we look at how much snowfall we'll see after these flurries are done, as you guys can see, not really seeing a ton of snowfall. It looks like areas like southern Illinois, you guys could see anywhere from about a quarter to a half an inch, maybe a little bit isolated, higher totals up to maybe 3/4 of an inch up there more towards Springfield, Illinois. But it's mainly going to be, once again, anywhere from a quarter to a half an inch, even the Evansville area, Paducah, Madisonville, Hopkinsville, maybe even as far down south as Nashville, getting over there into the North Carolina mountains, with even some spotty totals of around a tenth to a quarter inch there across eastern Kentucky. So once again, we will be watching it very closely. Don't expect a lot, but even a few tenths of an inch can still cause some pretty hazardous conditions, especially when temperatures are well below freezing. So like I said, we will watch it very closely, but once again, don't expect a ton, as these snow showers and flurries are going to be on the light side of things. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some storm systems that we can expect by the time we head into the next few weeks in December. And our next one doesn't look to be till December 8th, as we are going to be tracking the potential for some pretty big, heavy rainfall across the deep south, getting up there maybe as far north as the lower Ohio Valley by the time we get into December 8th. And we are only heading about, 5-6 days out. So this could definitely be a little bit, more on the concerning side of things. As of right now, it doesn't look like this is going to bring a lot of severe weather. We're mainly talking a lot of moisture surging in from the Gulf of Mexico, which definitely could could cause, a little bit of a heavy rain, maybe even a little bit of a flood threat. But as of right now, though, like I said, we aren't really seeing anything in the way of severe weather. So we'll keep an eye on it closely, but definitely not looking like anything in the way of severe weather as of right now. But as things change, we'll keep you guys updated with the latest. So make sure to subscribe so that way you guys can stay up to date. And then after that storm brings that potential for rainfall across the Ohio Valley and deep south, we are going to be tracking some potential sleet and freezing rain by the time this gets up there towards New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and even the Northeast. So we definitely will be watching that area very closely. The areas that will probably see the highest amounts of freezing rain and sleet will be places like New York and Pennsylvania, maybe even getting there into New York City and New Jersey. So once again, we will be watching those areas very closely. We will also kind of have a little bit of a, band of snowfall over here that we might need to watch closely for. But as of right now, though, like I said, both of these kind of do remain uncertain as we are heading about 8-9 days out. So like I said, we will watch it very closely, but I would probably start taking both of these, especially this one right here, with a grain of salt, as things are still looking to change quite a bit. And then after that storm, we are going to be watching maybe another storm closely, as we are going to have some snowfall potential on the northern side of this system potentially. But even areas like the Ohio Valley and deep south, you guys might see that potential for some heavy rainfall, as well as we are starting to see those yellow colors pull up, which does indicate, some moderate, some, heavy rainfall. So definitely, be watching that closely if you do live anywhere from the Ohio Valley back into the deep south. And once again, this is still very uncertain, but like I said, though, it is something to really watch for, and I'm mainly just showing you guys these to really just give you guys a heads up that things like this could definitely be in play by the time we get into the next few weeks of December, which every storm systems that we took a look at look to be as we get into next week and even the week after, like I said. Now let's go ahead and look at each total precipitation that we just looked at, and this is pretty much going to be your total freezing rain, your total sleet, your total snow, and your total rainfall. Okay, this is pretty much everything that we just talked about, like I said. And like I said, we are going to be watching that potential for a lot of freezing rain and sleet up here in New England. For freezing rain, though, we are going to be seeing anywhere from about a 1/100th of an inch up there to possibly even up there towards around a quarter of an inch. So we will be watching those areas very closely. But even areas like in southern Pennsylvania, I was mainly talking about New York, but if you go a little bit far down to the south, across parts there of northern West Virginia and as well as southern Pennsylvania, you could be getting close to around 3/4 of an inch to maybe around an inch, guys. To me that kind of sounds a little bit bullish, and we are looking over 10 days out, so some of this might not be exactly what we see, but like I said, we will definitely watch it closely, with maybe even some freezing rain developing across Iowa and then elsewhere. You might see like a glaze, but not really seeing a ton of freezing rain elsewhere. So like I said, we will be watching both of those areas closely, but I would recommend taking some of this with a grain of salt, as once again things kind of do look to change. And then for your total sleet, there's anywhere from now all the way to December 13th. And you guys who are expecting freezing rain can also expect there to be some pretty big chances for some sleet, including the New York City area, as we do kind of see a little bit of peach color showing up. Same goes across areas in Nebraska back into Iowa. You guys could see some decent amounts of sleet too as well. So for Pennsylvania, it looks like you guys around State College, Pennsylvania, you guys might see around a inch of sleet potentially. So we will be watching that area closely. And then you guys over there towards Iowa and Nebraska, maybe around a quarter to a half an inch of sleet. So once again, we will be watching those areas very closely. Now now let's go ahead and look at your total snowfall. This time we're going to look at the national blend of all models, which, kind of gives you, a decent idea on what to expect. So it's pretty much taking all the total snowfall from each of the models, putting it all together and creating, an average total snowfall for each location. And as you guys can see, we are going to be tracking that potential for some snowfall across the Cascades by the time we get into December 13th. We also could see a lot of snowfall across the Great Lakes and Northeast too, as well as a lot of lake effect snowfall once again is still going to be possible. And then, elsewhere, like, the Ohio Valley and Midwest, we once again might see some clipper systems roll on down, which, usually bring some very light amounts of snowfall usually. So, we probably won't really need to worry too much about those areas a little bit far down to the south. But if things do change, like I said, we will let you guys know, and things could very well change as we are heading a little bit far out still. But like I said, you guys a little bit far down to the south could still experience that potential for some clipper systems, even though you guys are only experiencing some very light amounts of snow. And then for your total rainfall, we are going to be tracking a lot of rainfall along the East Coast, but it's especially going to be down here towards the Lower Ohio Valley and deep south, where we will be tracking that potential for some heavy rain, maybe a little bit of a flood threat. It does show around, a half a foot of rainfall across central Louisiana, so we're talking anywhere from about 6 to maybe even up to 8 inches of rainfall. So like I said, we will be watching those areas very closely, but it still does remain a little bit uncertain as of right now. So like I said, I would recommend taking this with a grain of salt. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. If you guys are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button, as we will continue to keep you guys updated with the latest on Weather with Sim. Also, don't forget to leave a like too as well. This helps out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. You guys can leave anything down below as long as it's respectful. And I hope you guys all have a great Sunday, or not Sunday, but I hope you guys all have a great Monday, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.